Hi, I'm Linda and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Australia. I want to do a little bonus video for you guys this weekend because I've been playing and putting some of my recent holiday photos into MDS, and I thought you might like to see one. So I'm going to show you how to do the one that's on the page now. This is me whilst I was visiting my fiance's family in Michigan. We went quad biking on the beach at Lake Michigan. It's just like a real beach, a real ocean and everything, except it's all fresh water, which just amazed me. But yeah, I'm going to quickly work through this little page for you. So let's start. The first thing I like to do whenever I'm creating a new page is I like to obviously have to create a new project, and so we'll give it a name. I'm going to just do a custom page. I'm going to make it 8 by 8. You could do 12 by 12. It really doesn't matter. Whatever size you think you'd like to work with. And I'm going to call this Quad Bike Adventure. Now, I've actually done a couple of these before, practicing, so I'll call it Quad Bike Adventure 4. And I'm going to save my other project, which is the one I had open previously. And now we have a brand new page about to come up. It's thinking. Okay, a fresh blank page to work with. So the very first thing I like to do whenever I'm creating a page, and just a little tip for you, is I like to pull my photograph up first, because then I know what colors I'm going to be working with. It makes it really easy. So the first thing I do is over here on the resource palette, left hand side, there's a little picture of a camera, and this is where I can access my photos. So I've already got mine ready to go here, but if I was looking, I would browse and pull the photograph up from my computer and hit open. But I've already got it open, so this is the photo I'm working with here. So I know already what colors I'm going to want, and now I come over to my design center, which is where I do most of my creating and editing, and I am going to start with my background paper. So the same as a traditional page, you start with whatever paper, whether it be pattern paper or regular cardstock. That's where I'm going to start, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the color, and I'm going to work with this green, always artichoke green, because that's the color that's in the grass at the back of my photo. So I'll start with that, hit OK, and I am immediately starting with a nice always artichoke blank page. Okay, then I'm going to add a bit of pattern paper. In this case, you would go looking, the MDS comes already full of lots of great different papers to choose from. You can of course purchase more at any point on the digital downloads. The good thing about digital downloads is you get them immediately. You don't have to wait for them to be delivered, so you can shop and get it straight away in your email. So the one I'm working with today is Modern Medley, and I'm going with this this black one here with the newsprint. And I'm going to, oh whoops, haha. Undo button, best button in the world. Okay, I'm going to do that again. Instead of actually adding it and choosing OK, which actually, as you can see, does the whole background, I add it, and then I add it as a page layer. Okay, that was a good thing to show you anyway. All right, don't worry, I'm probably going to make lots of mistakes like that. I'm going to move this piece of paper where I want it, and I want to make it a little skinnier. So I'm just going to pull the sides of it in and move that over a little. Here we go. Yeah, that's about right. Now I'm going to right mouse click on it, and I'd like to rip the bottom edge of this paper. So where it says rip photo edges, select that, and it's this bottom edge here. I'm going to rip that one. I could rip all four if I wanted to, but just the one edge is fine with me. And you can see I've got myself a nice rip there. I'm going to give it a little bit of dimension, so I'm going to drop a shadow. Okay, and there we go. I'm just going to go with default shadow. You can choose whatever size shadow you like, but I quite like the default. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I actually want to add a frame. There's lots of different ways to do this. You can add a photo box, but I'm actually going to choose it from an embellishment that's here, a set called Downtown Grunge. So if I browse to see what embellishments I have, I'm going to go into my designer kits, and I want this Downtown Grunge. So I'll open that one, and I'm just going to pop this one, drag it over onto my page, because this is roughly, it's a portrait size, which is going to suit my photo. I'm going to make it a bit smaller and position that where I want it. Yeah, about there maybe, or a little bit over. Yeah, it's starting to look the way I want it to. Okay, happy with that. Then I think I might put my photo in next. So back to the photo section, actually grab the photo and drag it onto the page. Nice and easy. Okay, It's nearly the right size, but not quite. So I can adjust the shape of my photo to fit my frame, okay? But you can see now I've sort of covered some of the frame up. Easy way to fix that, right mouse click on your photo and we are going to send it backward. So now it's behind the frame. So that's a really easy way to get your things to fit, okay? And then I'd like to add another embellishment. So I'm going to go back to my embellishments, little flower up here on the resource palette. I'm going to go in the same Downtown Grunge option here. I like this little note. Once again, it's going to be too big, so we'll just resize it. That's fine. Make it smaller. Bring it up here. Yeah, quite like that. Yep, that's about right. Okay, if you're not happy with anything, you can always change the drop a shadow. Change the size of anything at any time. If you don't like something, you've got your undo button here to go back to where you were. So it's really easy to chop and change and see how things look. Okay, it's starting to take shape. Now the background needs some work. It's very flat looking. I'm going to add a stamp. So this little one here is a little picture of a stamp, side on, and I'm going to go browsing. And Extreme Elements. This is a stamp set we used to have. It's retired, but not in MDS. And I quite like this one here as a background. So I'm going to pop it up here. Now it's way too small for my purposes, so I'm just going to position my mouse over the corner, make it larger, bring that down. Still too small. Make it larger again. Okay. All right. I'm starting to like this now. That's cool. Right. Obviously I don't want it sitting over my photo like that, so once again I can bring that to the back, okay, and now it's behind my photograph, and I don't really want it to be black either, so I'm going to change the color of it. So make sure it's selected, come over here and choose change color, and I'm going to use this little watermark. Now what's good about watermark, if you're familiar with Versamark ink, Versamark ink actually takes on whatever color you're working with. It looks like a watermark on that color, and so it works with every single color, and it works great in MDS as well. So you can see I've sort of dulled it down almost to a translucent green to match my background. So the watermark really works well. Okay, so starting to take shape. I'd like to add another embellishment, so back to my embellishment palette. I'm going to browse. I would like to add an antique brad. Close my designer kits. See the antique brads there? Here they are. You'll remember these if you've actually been working with real products out of the catalogue, because we have these, the real thing. So I'm going to open these, and I want to use this one here, and I'm going to drag that over onto my piece, and it's a bit small. Make it a bit bigger. Yeah, that's okay. All right, that's cool. I quite like that. Okay, starting to look the way I want it to look. I am just going to make a change here to this paper. I would like to give that a different colour, so I'm going to recolor it, and I'd like it to be a really dark brown. I think the black's a little harsh maybe. Whoops. Try to get down here. Now I know that. Thank you. My computer is not wanting to play games with me. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. But if I did want to recolor it, I would use that recolor button. Okay, I can't right now because I've actually got my program sitting too close. Actually, if I bring that up a little and then recolor, that's going to work. No, it isn't. Okay, all right, let's not worry about that. The black looks fine. It matches the bike, right? Yeah. Okay, so, okay, next thing I want to do is I want to add something around the edges, because to me the background is looking too flat. So I'm going to browse. And in fact, not with embellishments, I'm going to go into stamps. I found these great things that I really love. I'm going to browse for the overlays. I love these vintage overlays. I just seem to be getting a lot of mileage out of them. Down here it is, vintage overlays. Now these sit over your whole page. And I'm just going to there we go. Just had to move it down a little bit so I could get to it. All right, the one that I liked for this one, I mean, they're all really nice. I actually use this one on my blog header, and it looks great. Okay, these vintage overlays I'm going to pop over here. Now they're really large, so just be aware of that, when you pop them on, they're way bigger than your photograph and you have to resize them. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to resize this one, move it, and resize it a little bit again. And let's see if that's, well, it's very close to the right size. Just bring it down. And I might bring it down this corner as well. And make sure it's sitting over the whole thing. Yeah, that's looking pretty much the way I want it to. Slightly bigger. Okay. All right. I really like it, but to me it does look a little harsh. So rather than being black, I'm going to colour match this. Now I could change the colour in the normal way, but rather than picking up a stamp colour or an ink colour, I actually want to pick something out of my photograph. So colour match is perfect because you can place your cursor anywhere on your photograph or anywhere on your layout, and it gives you all the little pixels of colour, and I really do like the idea of going with the dark green. So you can see this is the colour it was, the black, and this is the dark green that it's going to be, which is going to be a lot softer. So I'll just take a moment to update, and you should see that. That looks better to me. Okay, I'm just going to make it, the overlay sit. Yeah, that's better. Okay, all right, happy with that. I just need to add some text. So here we go. Text box, add text. Now you can have your default text set to anything. I've got mine already set to Zapfino, which is one of my favorite fonts. And currently it's set to 64, which I know is going to be too big, but I can resize it. But I find a larger font quite good for headers and so forth. I've also got it set to white as a default. And I think on this layout I will leave it at white. Now I'm going to move that up, and then it is too big, so I'm going to double click on the text box. I'm going to highlight the text, and instead of size 64, I'm going to bring it down to about 44. Yeah, that's about right. And then I'm going to move the text over a little. Yep, that looks fine, kind of the way I want it to look. You just position it wherever you think it looks best. Yep, I'm liking that. And I just want to add a little bit, on my very original I had the date on here on the note, and I could do that, but I'm actually just going to show you how you add text and then turn it to suit, to orientate it differently. So I'm going to add text again. So back to text. We're going to add another text box, and this time I'm going to go a lot smaller. So so you can set your font before you start if you want to. We'll go 18, see how that works. I'm going to put Lake Michigan, July 2013. Now I'd like it all in one line, so I make my text box smaller so it goes all in one line. And I click off it, and then I can click back on the text box to position it. Now I could have it going across the bottom here, which actually I don't mind that, but just to show you how I did the original one, I grabbed hold of the corner, and when you put your mouse over the corner here, you get a little rotating arrow, and that allows you to swing it around. And you've got a little guide there to tell you when you're exactly on 90 degrees, so you know it's perfectly straight. Okay, position that where you'd like it. And that's not too bad. I could make it a little smaller again if I wanted to. I could leave it in white. If I double click on it and select the text, I can change the color of it. So I could, for example, make it a dark brown if that's what I wanted, or I could make it black. Make it dark brown just to show you. Okay, click off it. There it is there. So I probably would actually prefer that in black because I'd left the newspaper black. If I changed the newsprint to brown, then I think this brown would work better. So you really can, and you can also match the color like I did before with the background of the photo. But I'll just go black for now. And okay. And there it is there. There it is. Okay, so that just gives you a few ideas of how easy it is to manipulate all your bits and pieces here in MDS. I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun for me to revisit photos from my recent trip and see where I'd been all over again. And I hope that you have a great weekend, whatever you're doing, and I'll be back during the week with a quick tip. See you soon. Bye.